Hey everyone, NiceWigg here, and I am excited to say that we are now going to be talking with the new 100 Thieves Apex squad. They don't really need an introduction, but we might as well give them one. So who are you, man?
iiTzTimmy. What's up?
Who are you, dude?
I'm Destin, or Bronzy.
Yeah. We got Jen here as well. We got the one and only.
Design.
Yes, sir.
How we doing?
We're locked in. Recently signed. Happy to have you guys on board. It's been a while for me wanting a squad, and there's literally no one else better to have than you guys, dude. Let's start with the elephant in the room. That guy. Why is Jen not here? Let's talk about that real quick.
I mean, he's stuck in Australia fighting kangaroos.
We're figuring out a way to
Yeah, we're
smuggle
figuring
him in.
out a way.
Couple of boats.
Couple of boats.
Submarine.
Yeah, he's
Submarine.
drafting us up something. Bronzeys got it on.
Yeah, yeah.
The brains behind the
Yeah,
operation.
he's getting the rotates down.
Yeah,
He still won't have his visa, right?
It is a 90% chance that we will have him for BLGS 3.
Okay.
Worst case, BLGS 4. But BLGS 3. If worst comes to worst, I'm subbing in the first day. And if we get knocked out the first day, then God help us.
Worst comes to worst that is literally the worst.
Okay.
That's insane.
You might have to step in.
No, hell no. That might be the worst if I start playing. That's when you know
We'll
we're
just play zone and we're just like AFK in the building.
low key. Then we're good.
We'll
That's
hit-
my whole career.
we'll hit the
We'll run double
Loba.
longbow.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, okay. Now you're talking about language. Now I'm locked in. I'm down to actually run it up, dude. That sounds great. All right, let's start talking about pretty much 100 Thieves Apex things. Obviously, you guys are previously the Dojo. We all knew that. And then, Timmy, you went to go do your thing on Moist for a little bit, and you came back, running right back to Dezignful's arms. I know you missed him so much. How did the 100 Thieves Apex team kind of start? Like, where's the storyline for, like, you maybe leaving Moist or Moist kind of splitting up, and how did it just get back to here?
Yeah, so initially, obviously, you said I left the dojo to join Moist, and Waltzy Guild asked me to come play with them, and I played for, I think, 2 tournaments, which was EWC and for Germany LAN. And from there, everything was pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say, like, in terms of like the future for us, like, it felt like, there was no discussion about replacements or anything like that. It was all just like constantly trying to improve. And obviously our first LAN together wasn't like the best LAN in terms of overall like placement, but I think it was a very good learning lessons for the going forward. After the Germany LAN, I thought we were big chilling. I was like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get ready for Japan. Everything's fine. Like, go from there. But yeah, like later I find out Design's like, yo, Timmy, what's up, man? Like, you trying to team again? I was like, what are you talking about, bro? You know what I mean?
I was like mid-run.
Yeah.
It was like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. at night, like mid like workout, like run. And like Bronzy told me to like wait a couple days, and I was like, no. I was like, he was like, yeah, just like wait a couple days until like he finds out, because I had like found out before him.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like sitting there and I'm doing my workout, and like I'm just feeling motivated. I'm like, why am I gonna like let this like opportunity slide? I was like, no. I was like, we need to get this going now, because like I knew that like it was gonna be like a big shift. We had to figure out who the third was gonna be, and
Yeah.
I'll let
So
you
then
keep going.
he called me. I'm like, what the guy talking about? I was like, it's a team. I was like, he's like, yeah, like I heard Waltzy going to Falcons. You heard? I'm like, what? I was like, what the heck? And then pretty much I was like, okay, I'll call you back. I'll let you know. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, okay. Immediately I messaged Guild. I'm like, yo, you hear about this? And he's like, Guild's like, yeah, I knew. Like, bro, Guild, you knew, and no one told me.
Why is it such a common thing?
No one
in
told me.
Apex scene?
And to be fair, it was actually during the time my dad was having heart surgery.
Okay, yeah.
So then it's like I can understand they want to kind of wait and stuff like that.
Valid.
But like
That makes sense.
no, like I think they knew for a while, and it was just like, bro, like heart surgery or not, the roster lock was like so like soon.
It's like
Yeah.
a week
like-
and a half.
They're like, bro, you gotta tell me, because like even if like I didn't find out from Design, I was probably going to find out majority like 3 days, 4 days before roster lock. So it was gonna be really bad in general.
No,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure.
So then I found out from him, messaged Gil, and I was like, hey, what do you want to do if Waltzy does leave? Right? Do you want to like find a new third and stuff like that? So I'm just talking to him, and then from there we obviously eventually split up, and then now I'm just by myself. So then I'm like, obviously Design hit me up, so I'm like, all right, let's go with Design, and then talk to Design about who we should give as our third. And it's like obviously clear that like Jen was like the best answer,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how we all came together. And I said it's funny because it's like Design called me. He told me like Waltzy's leaving. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? So then I eventually asked Jen and tell him the same thing. So it was legitimately a domino effect.
Yeah.
And like Design's the one pulling the
I
strings.
messaged Jen at the same time I called him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, is any roster changes going on over there? He's like, not that I know of. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, if anything.
Yeah, that was like the most awkward situation because I told Design like a month before like he started like saying anything about it. I was like, oh yeah, like the rumor is like Jen's leaving Falcons or Jen's being removed from Falcons.
Yeah.
And I forgot who I heard that from, but I got the
think I heard
information
that
first.
in
That's
Manheim.
happened like a lot of
Yeah.
lands though.
It does. Yeah, it's a
that's
very
like
common
that's like
practice.
the standard like after.
Yeah,
they
but
do
this
bad
one it was like
with
it was
Zero.
happening.
Yeah.
And then I told Dez and Dez was like, oh well, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, you know? And then it just unfolded the way it did.
Yeah.
Me and him are sitting there like trying to figure out what we're gonna do, and I was like, "Listen,
Yeah.
we're gonna get them and him and him." Like,
Enemy
this is-
wanted out.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do anything with us anymore.
I mean, it's valid. I mean,
What?
he's allowed to move on if he
No,
wants
I'm
to.
kidding.
No, if he wants to move on, he can.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
no,
what I
of
mean?
course,
That's
of
not a
course.
shade to you guys. Just like,
Yeah.
I also feel like he fits Complexity like really well. So
Oh,
like, the
100%,
opportunity definitely makes a lot of
100%.
sense for him. I've also, so you found out, so you knew before Timmy, and then you knew before Jen that they were both getting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was just GG's.
What I
But you
messaged
just
Jen
told-
was like, I was like, yeah, if anything happens, like, just like let me know, keep me updated, you know. And then like Timmy ended up talking to him, and then we all got into a call, and we were like, this is probably our best shot at like winning the champs. Like, run it up.
Yeah.
Like, run
That's
it back.
so fire, bro. What a perfect timing too to have someone like Genburten become a free agent for you guys as well. Like that's
Oh,
like
unreal.
actually like literally destiny for you guys to pick up such a good third.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if we didn't get Jen, I'm like, oh, this is not looking too good because like, I
No.
mean, Jen is just like, not only is he like a very good player, he's just a
Totally.
very experienced player, and like I think we'll definitely learn a lot from him in terms of like, you know, having the mindset to win and also knowing how to win.
I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally one of the most like awarded players in all of
100%.
Apex. And like I said, I feel like, you know, Rambo's a great player. Like good. I do think he's like a super sub and one of the best that you can pick up in the time that you guys did have. But again, it's just like Genburten is just in another category. It just
Oh,
it's like the glue for you guys. I think you both are in like another level of category, like a tier. I feel like Jen's with you guys in that kind of spot. So I feel like when he became a free agent, your eyes must have you must have been pumped.
I
dude.
felt like I was forming the redeem team.
I was gonna
You know what I'm
say,
saying?
dude, that
Like,
must have felt good. Because
I
what were
remember
you
the
doing in between?
confirmation.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I was sweating.
It
dude.
was
I
looking like a hot mess on our end.
Of course.
DSG decided to let us go, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, I'm not like here anymore. I'm not obligated to play. Can I go to Complexity? I don't want to hold the kid back."
No, you can't.
You know, Des
Yeah.
didn't want to either, so we're just like, "Yeah, go for it." And we couldn't find a third because this was also before LCQ, right? So we're banking on a good team in LCQ to kind of perform bad, right? And we're just like, "Oh man, like I don't know who our third would be.
Yeah,
That would be a
originally it
good
was gonna
fit."
be me, Q, and then I was gonna try. I was talking to Gent a
Gent,
little bit
yeah.
actually
Okay.
because they're not in champs.
That makes sense.
So I was gonna get one of my axes back, you know.
You're sending those fucking you up texts, bro.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was sitting there sweating, like looking for a third, just hitting all my axes. You up? How you doing? Like, what's up?
Just looking for a vibe check.
I remember when Timmy confirmed. I was like mid run, and I like called him back. I'm like just shirtless, like sprinting down the street. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm down." And I'm like, "Let's go!" I'm just like screaming. Who's gonna carry the boats? Like, who's gonna carry the boats in the
I
logs?
fucking love it.
Run
man.
it back.
Oh shit. Well, what was your game plan if you didn't like? So what were you gonna do if enemy did leave? Was it gonna be Accuser and then it was gonna be Gent?
Yeah,
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
But I was just hearing through the grapevine. I had taken like a little like 2-3 month break from not going to LAN, you know. So I was kind of just refreshing my mental to just have the love of competing in Apex again.
Totally. Yeah.
But like at the same time, I had to figure out and have that in the back of my mind. And like over time, I was just hearing more and more murmurs. Like I remember like there was just clips of me on stream saying like, you guys thought like the old roster mania was like crazy. Like there might be like another one coming, you know? Like, and everyone's like, you're tripping. And I'm like, I was just tapping in just a little bit more and more, like ear to the wall, seeing what was going on.
Dude.
And like, as soon as I like saw it all folding or unfolding, I was like, yeah, it's time.
it's time to see.
Called Bronzeys. I was like, it's time.
Yeah, and you're a little listen, bro. You're a little schemer too. I know how you get down.
Back
You're-
in the day, I
you're
was
always
definitely
listening.
scheming.
You're always
back
listening.
in the day, I was definitely like,
Not like a bad way, but like you're always.
No, I was
you're
bad back then.
Oh,
In a
okay.
bad way, I was bad back
You
then.
could say
anything I
didn't know
heard,
you were bad back then.
anything I heard, I'm like, oh shit, this Rostermania is crazy. This is happening.
Yeah.
You know? But now, like ever since I stepped into the coaching role, I'm just like, I hear it. The only people I talk to is the people on the team. And then if he wasn't on my team, I would just still tell him because
This
obviously
guy was going out swinging,
Yeah.
dude. He was finessing spots and stuff. He's like, yeah. I'm like, move this guy around. Give me
Yeah, you were good at it. You were good. Oh, no shit.
Get that
you're right.
Zach Mazer like silver tongue, dude.
All right, so what made you guys, choose 100 Thieves other than you just already being on it? Which is pretty
think-
easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what goes for me. I think in general, I would like to say it's like the easiest for everyone. I think in the past, it was like with Disguise, for example, like Design and I and Enemy knew that, Timmy is like, he's already with 100 Thieves. Whatever has to work for him, right? And we respected that. And I think 100 Thieves is obviously the clear answer. And then with me, I also work at 100 Thieves already.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this makes the most sense. It's like 2 out of the 4 makes the most sense. Design is just like wherever we go, he just wants to play together, essentially.
Valid.
And then we all kind of just followed along with that.
Yeah, I think like initially, when we were first at Dojo and then going to DSG, I actually like even tried to do 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
But I think that's when they actually like they stepped out of Apex
Yeah.
during that brief time.
That's
So it was just
right.
like really unfortunate timing. And then from there, it's kind of just like I forget what offers we got, but I mean DSG was just like the easiest for me because it's like, well, 100 Thieves wasn't in Apex. They are allowed me to kind of play on
Something else.
and something else. But it's like of all orgs, it's a org that's not really like
For fun.
Yeah,
For
it's
fun
an
org.
official one. It's like a streamer org, for fun. So
Yeah.
they didn't deem it as like kind of like a conflict with my current content creation.
Similar to Moist. Yeah.
Yeah, similar to Moist, right? So that's the same thing with like just going to each orgs was just like a little bit easier like that because
Totally.
they're just streamer orgs. And obviously now that we need a new org and 100 Thieves is looking for a team, it's kind of like I've always obviously wanted to join 100 Thieves as their Apex team. So it's like, it's like obvious choice. You
Yeah.
know?
How does it feel for you to be on 100 Thieves?
I'm hyped. I'm in the org with like the hottest dudes, the coolest kicks. We're out here. I'm super amped. Yeah, this was always like the dream. So
Yeah?
like you said, this was like the original plan, and it's hyped. It's hyped. Glad to be here.
Man. Dude, I gotta admit, bro, I mean, dude, me and him, we broke bread in LA. We talked, we squashed the
Yep.
beef a little bit. Dude, I have a lot of respect for this guy now, man. I feel like, again, dude, you're sometimes just misunderstood. I'm glad to fucking see you here on 100 of these, brother. Dude,
Of course,
for real.
we're looking to put another trophy on that wall.
Oh, dude, I think Nate Shaw would appreciate that a lot. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
I want my
maybe not.
jersey on the Hall
of Fame.
Hall of
Yeah.
Fame. Shit.
Oh, you definitely would go crazy if you would.
100%. Dude, that would be so fire. If y'all win, I'll come my pants on some bullshit. I will actually come everywhere.
Keep that in.
Yeah, keep that
Keep
in
that
too.
in.
Let them know. I will fucking lose my
I
mind,
will
dude.
throw some ass.
Oh,
on
bro,
stage.
that fucking setup in Japan would get drop kicked immediately.
These streams going live at the nightclub.
I'm getting so fucked up that night, bro. 100%. When it comes to the dojo, how do you guys feel now? You had a little bit of a break. Obviously, you got used to playing with other players. Same thing with you for a little bit, I guess, with Q and stuff. But like, how do you guys feel the team is coming together now in 100 Thieves? How do you feel with Rambo? How do you feel with Rambo versus Jen, your actual third? Like, what's the vibe check right now going into BLGS Qualifier 3?
Yeah, so I think like from obviously playing with Design and Enemy initially, like it was just a learning experience for me. Obviously, they were just more experienced because they were already competing. They had already had the lands under their belt, and it was kind of just like I don't know what the right playstyle is. I'm just kind of doing what I think is best, and then just following what Design was like doing. And now playing, with Design for 2 lands, and then going to Moist with 2 lands, and they have like completely different play styles.
Yeah.
Also, some areas are like similar. I just got to see like both sides of being an edge player and also somewhat of a zone player and rushing for zone. Because I think that my biggest problems were always greeting, just for like honestly anything, like whether it was like loot, like space, damage, just a lot of those aspects. It made me more disciplined as a player, play with Moist. And I think like now, coming back and like being the IGL for our team, I can kind of like share what I think is best because I know how to play both styles.
Yeah.
Well, like Design obviously specializes in playing edge and being very aggressive.
Yeah.
And then Jen has also been like on a zone team for majority of his. It's kind of like I can control and see both sides of that. But going with like, Ram and the difference between Ram and Jen, I think like you said, like Jen is just in like such a different bracket than like all of us. Like, he's just like a really polished player. And I think like the value he adds in a team is just like whenever I was calling and playing the scrims and stuff like that with him, it felt like he just filled in the silence that like, maybe like in moments where I'm not calming enough, I feel like he will say something. It's like, okay, like I'm gonna put the wall down. I'm like, let's do this. I'm walking up, right? It's like, okay, now that he says he's walking up, I'm gonna say like what I want to do continuously afterwards. First, if no one says anything, sometimes I might not say that second part because it's like always like starting that first step into the communication aspects.
It kind of like makes you, I guess, like it helps you mediate like the hesitation. Like when you're in like a mode of hesitation, he steps in and then it makes you hesitate less because he's making that initiative and then you could command what you wanted to do, but just maybe didn't start the process up. That makes sense. That checks out for sure.
That's like the difference because I think when we were playing with Ram, he was always kind of waiting for my call, right? Because he didn't want to obviously make mistakes and like be the reason why we lost because it's not his job to do that type of stuff. He's like the anchor, he's playing catalyst. So I think he did a really good job at filling the role and the shoes that he needed to in kind of like category. It was more up to me to make those like better calls and the direction for the team. But yeah, obviously like learning IGLing, not necessarily for the first time, but like actually like being able where my teammates like agreed that I'm actually the IGL. Like the first like amount, I would say a month of scrims was like pretty solid. I felt like we were actually getting really good. And then when obviously we had to learn with Ram, it just kind of felt like a little scrambly for me. Because I just had to like adjust for a different play style.
Of course.
And then now that Jen's coming back, I do think we'll do like a lot better.
We were like number one, like in average points by like a margin during that first month.
Jen,
and like that was me being rusty as hell. I was barely contributing. So like I'm hyped for like Jen to come back. Like it's gonna be super fun.
So it's essentially having like a really nice balance. Like kind of what Timmy said is like Design is such a like good edge player. He knows everything about the edge. If we need to play edge, he can rely on Design to provide comms that we need.
Totally.
Right. And you have Jen who played on Falcons, and winning tournaments, knows how to play the zone and stuff like that. And as he's learning to IGL and he took in a lot of information from Moist, Jen already has that information of how to play the zone and everything. So it's like you have two players that can step in certain situations when Timmy needs assistance. And that I think that's like really good for our team.
Yeah, so you got an IGL where like you learned from both sides, like literally both sides of the coin. You got the edge style and then the zone style from Moist, but you learn the edge from Dojo and Dezignful, and then you have a player who just literally is living, breathing edge gameplay since the G2 days, and then you have someone who's the exact opposite. So it's kind of like perfect for you guys the way the dynamic works out.
It's super nice having like vocal players. Everyone's vocal, so like typically some teams have fraggers that are really quiet. But it's nice that our teammates are vocal and they can frag.
Totally.
So
it's like the same formula that we had when we like started the dojo with Enemy, because Enemy came from zone as well.
So,
like, it's
actually,
like we're just replicating like the same formula as the original like dojo squad.
Which is fire. How do you feel, stepping down from like the IGL position and just kind of being like that more supportive teammate and just there if Timmy needs it? Like, I think you've done a really good job. I know you're a very like outspoken person. But
that was like originally the plan.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
Dojo is like Timmy was like IGLing. It's just like we ended up in a lot of situations that Timmy hadn't been in before. So I ended up just like taking like over the comms when like he didn't know what to do at that time.
Totally.
Which it just ended up just shifting over to me eventually. But like I've always been perfectly fine with just like just supporting and like following the plan and stuff with also like giving input. But yeah, like originally it was just supposed to be him, but it ended up like shifting a little bit more to me during like ALGS and like finals lobbies.
I think
and stuff.
once it got to LCQ, it was kind of like like there was the moments where like I just, like you said, like I just didn't know, and I think like from playing with Moist, it built. I understand what scrims, the values of scrims does for a team. Totally. It adds that repetition, so it's kind of like. We land and we know that we're going left side. I don't need to like calm anything about like what I need to do, because my entire team knows exactly what we're gonna do and everything like that.
That makes sense.
So then like for us, like, you know, like because we're becoming a new team and, you know, having to build that rhythm, it was good because like I felt like us as a 3, like with Jen, we kept learning really quickly.
Yeah.
But then right before BLGS is when we had to play with Ram. We had like 2 days of scrims, right?
Dude, it's tough.
So he's out of rhythm with us. And so then I have to kind of like adjust for that. So then it felt like just very difficult to kind of like come up with like new plans on the way. And I think like in general, like I said, like, you know, he's really good at edge. So if like there's ever moments where I feel like I can't get us in, he'll kind of like give his like inputs of going left or right and stuff like that. And even just same thing with Jen, it's like if I believe that we can make it, he'll kind of like give me like, oh yeah, like we can get a good spot, or like you know, it's like I think this building's better and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, you know, I listen to that, but like in this current BLGS, it was kind of just like felt like I had to kind of do it all.
Yeah.
And then in moments it was good, and moments it was bad, and I think it's just all learning because no matter what, like
That's all it is.
yeah, like when you do bad or when you like do really really bad, you don't learn a lot. But when you learn, like when you do like semi bad, you know what I mean, you're getting good amount of points, like 8 points, 10 points, but you're not getting that like closing out the games. It's like really good learning experience as a team. So it's like, even though obviously we didn't place high, I think I've learned a lot, and I'm slowly like getting better and improving.
He's getting a lot better with like the multiple steps. Like you used to play with him.
Yeah.
Like originally when I like the dojo was first formed, he was just thinking about like our next play, just the one next play. And like when he would like hit like a roadblock, then I would like pipe up and be like, well, this team's gonna push off of this roof onto this roof, which is gonna open this roof for us, like a 10-second window. We could get up there and then pressure that team. He started like adding in a lot more steps to like the plans.
Yeah, I think that's what comes with the experience for sure. I think that was one of like when we played Sheesh, like I think we were always one step forward. We were never 2 to 3 steps. That was kind of like our main issue whenever we played, even though we didn't really give a fuck that much, to be honest. But like that was one of our main issues. Like we would be able to do the next thing, but then they're like, all right, what are we doing after that? Yeah, and then a prize didn't say shit. So like it didn't really help out. I think the dynamic you guys have is you do have like 3 vocal players and you have 3 people honestly that could IGL on their own. Like Jen never done it, but Jen has won content tournaments or played really well IGLing content, making calls. 100%. So like you have people that can think to help you think 2 to 3 plays in advance, which I think in this meta right now is like super, super important, dude. Because this meta, it's a tough one, bro. It's a really tough one to navigate. And then on top of that, you're playing in a difficult meta, and then you're having him shaking off rust, you know what I mean? And then you have Rambo, who I don't really see play the game nearly as much as he used to, coming in a sub at a high level. Like, I think you guys are doing pretty damn good, man, for real. And how do you, I think the way I put it, stepping down was like the wrong way for you, like coming from IGL, because I think people take that as a negative thing. How do you feel, you know, going into these games and listening to Timmy? Do you feel like there's a difference from like the past dojo to now, or do you think that it's kind of just what you said was you wanted it to be like that from the beginning and it just feels like you're assuming that role?
It's definitely not been the exact same. I've definitely been a little bit more quiet this time around.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
it's just kind of like finding that balance again with Timmy. Like whenever me and him are like in sync, which has happened so many times, those were like our best dojo days. You know, like
totally
we were bouncing back and forth just perfectly. Like every play we were calling, me and him were both thinking it, like adding in extra information and stuff like that. But it's very much so like we just have to be like in sync, and like when me and him are dialed like that, it's like the most perfect Apex I've like ever played. Like that day, the day going into like the finals day of LCQ when we won like 4 out of the 6 and like dropped like, I don't even know how many points, like 130.
Yeah, some crazy
or whatever.
Yeah, some fucking.
It just feels so natural and it just flows.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest thing that goes with that too is like, like when we don't have to worry about the other person's like gameplay is when we like shine the most. And I think like because like right now, like we're jumping back into like the rust of like, you know, having playing with each other in a while. Like, you know, the meta has shifted, you know, our play styles have shifted, and then also like I said, like we're not playing with Jen. I think it's like I have to like consider like not saying that Ram like was playing bad, because I think he played phenomenal.
Totally.
You know, like when subbing in, it's like I have to just worry about what Ram's going to do because I have no idea how he plays and everything like that. Yeah. And on top of that, like now I have to worry about this one person. It makes me now have to worry about design to match Ram as well. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like if 2 people are going this way and I'm going here, it's like, oh, like, you know what I mean? It's now it causes more like like I need you to come over here and do this and stuff like that, and then it's a little bit off balance somewhere,
Yeah.
and then now it just leads to kind of like improper like team kind of like cohesion.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a question for you guys too. With like the game 6 stuff, like what is it about the game 6, dude? Is it like you guys just have like this dial and you just lock it in and you just switch to like go mode, and that's when like things like, you're like, okay, we really need to step it up, and that's when the cohesion really starts? Or like, what do you think it is? Because you guys, bro, are killer on that game 6, bro. It is crazy how consistent you are.
It's the ice.
Is it?
No,
Is
I
it the
swear,
clutch
it's
Gs?
under
You
pressure.
think
It's
so?
under
Yeah,
pressure.
that's
I
valid.
didn't have it on G2, but with
Okay.
him, yeah, it's just like feeling that pressure. Because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
scrims will mess around. Like
Legitimately, I what I think it is like games 1 to 2, as much as like we like to like always say like let's just get as many kills as we can
Yeah.
and have a good games, right? I think the first game is always hard for every single team out there,
Totally.
right? It's just like you're not as warmed, and there's just so many things that have to go in mind, and like I do
It's like
think
a feeler. Yeah.
it's a feeler, right?
Yeah.
And I think like we try to do our best, and there are times we get a good amount of kills, but pretty rare. I feel like for our team, even during the dojo, we would ever win or get like a 15 to 20 point. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like very rare. So it's like we try to just do our best to make something happen in that first game and get like a good starter. And then from there, like games 2 to 5, I feel like it just depends. If we get a 0 point, not looking good.
Yeah.
Not looking good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that game 6, I do think like it really does come down to our like like you said, like our mental, our ice cold. Like we know it's the last game, and we're actually like it's bad to say because it's like we should be putting that max amount of
We just
effort
get
every
possessed.
game.
I don't know.
Yeah, we should be putting that,
It's like
legitimate
iconic game
effort in.
sixes,
But
too.
like
Dude, it is.
Some-
someone
qual
is
for
controlling
land.
us, and
Call
like
for winners.
our comms are like
insane.
the urgency of every single comm. On like the positionings, like we're playing as a unit because we know that we can't make a single mistake. Versus
Yeah.
like games 2 to 5, we could be a little bit more lenient if we're trying to get an extra KP.
KP or
And I do
something.
think that's like something like we want to replicate this game 6 in all of ours,
Everything.
but it just takes time.
It's just weird. It's like a feeling in the air. It's like the same feeling at like LAN. Like I'll literally finish an entire LAN set and I won't have a clue what just happened.
So you just go game 6, like oh, we just did
I'll
that.
literally black out the LAN set, and then like I'll be like chilling and like eating food, and I'm like, whoa, like what just happened? Like we just made it, like, or we just fried out, and like
Yeah.
I'm just like barely remembering just because I'm so just like dialed. I don't know. It's just like it's like the energy in the air is just different. I don't know.
It's just the less forgiving state, I guess, because it's like do or die. So there's just like no forgiveness at all. If you do fuck up, it's GG. So I guess you put that pressure on yourselves to just go crazy. Maybe you enter that flow state a little bit, like that athlete flow
100%.
state.
Yes,
Because I can't lie, the comms are also different in your game 6s when the pressure's on the line.
Oh, yeah.
It is just flow. Like it's just this, and
I
there's
think it's
no
like-
hesitation, nothing. It's crazy.
It's like the momentum that goes throughout the game, because truthfully, our game 6, we always say like, oh, it's game 6, like, let's bring it back. The energy truthfully does start pretty
Yeah.
low because we're like, the previous games have been pretty shit, but when things start picking up of like getting a KP, getting an extra placement, the zone's shifting towards us, right? Their comms get increasingly louder and like
Yeah.
more hype that is like, it's happening.
It's
And then-
exciting.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I think when the zone starts pulling farther and farther away, we're like, bruh,
Like, come-
right?
come
but
the
like,
fuck on,
but
give
like
us a
game
break,
6,
yeah.
something always happens. Not like we're getting gifted the zones every single
No.
time, but like something's just like, oh, like the zone's kind of close. Oh, it's pulling. It pulled into our direction. It's like, wait a minute.
Oh, these two
You know what I
teams
mean?
are fighting right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's the opening.
Yeah.
And there's
The
no-
ampness just makes them play better because they're like,
Totally.
holy fuck, it's happening.
Yeah,
you know?
you can see like the life getting like literally just starting like
Yeah.
to be picked up as the game goes on. Because like, oh, this little thing could happen for us. Oh, this could happen. Let's seize this moment. I feel like you guys do that really well in those game 6s. It's like you recognize those really small things you could take advantage of, and that's when you start flowing, dude.
I also do think the other like biggest factor is while we play game 6 differently,
Mm-hmm.
everyone else is playing game 6 differently too.
Agreed.
Like
You guys kind of play it more confident as others play it more scared.
yeah, like I think like there was this one, I think it was our very first LAN, maybe our second, but it was when Alliance pretty much was like about to knock the qual, but they qualled with the last game because everyone just in the lobby kept dying, and they just play edge, they play slow. Everyone's trying to get a good amount of points, and they're just letting the lobby die. It goes to like 14, 13, 12, right? And it's like it's like probably zone 2 closing.
And the down B sending.
No, it was World's Edge. It's pretty much like right outside a diner. From what's it called? Fragment. Going towards like the the no name. Yeah. It's just like they just play the game very slowly and they're just kind of letting everything happen. You know what I mean? That's like their approach. I feel like when it comes to game 6, you know what I mean? And like I've taken like kind of like lessons from it where I'm like, everyone's gonna be like trying to make this their hero run and stuff like that. They're like, oh, they're so scared. But as soon as like we're playing our own game but like when we see a team and they're like showing any type of hesitation of like they're backing up a little too much, we're like, kill them. You know what I mean? Just insta kill them, and then we just win the fight, and that just snowballs into like the next fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I've
you
always
guys
said like crazy shit, even from like G2. Like if you look from like I have like YouTube videos where it's like we're gonna waste 3 months for nothing, and it like goes out and like is like a banger game like at LAN. I remember Enemy was like we were in like losers, and he was like tearing up, and he's like we shouldn't be here because remember we didn't qualify by like 1 point, and he's like saying like how we shouldn't be here and stuff, and like I like just look at him dead in the eyes, and I'm like what are you gonna do after this? And he says go home, and I was like we're going home regardless, but we're not fucking going home now. Like want it like you want to breathe. Like
yes sir.
You just gotta like you gotta start it like in the pregame and like
that was
just carrying the energy into there.
It was literally like this. He was either like sitting at his PC looking straight into the screen like this, or he was like looking up.
I'm like we're going home regardless.
Yeah, 100%.
He's literally looking up in the lights like this, and he's like tearing up. He's like, I'm like, bro, you good? I'm like, are you good?
And this guy Dezignful just like fucking getting his face down again.
That was one of the hardest lines that design dropped was the want it like you want to breathe.
After we
and that resonated with everyone. We all got chills and we were like,
that's like,
you're right,
bro. That's real shit though, man.
That was
and
before
then we won the game.
The North Pad win.
And then we won the game, and then
when I went for the senti shot,
it's funny though. I do think every single time he like holds in his rage. Like we just like collectively as a team just played worse and worse, and then it gets to the point where it's like 6 points, 4 points, 0 points, right? And then he's like, he's charging
eyes
up,
twitching,
he's charging up, and he just rages so loudly, and then we're all like, damn, like it's like, okay, he's exploding again. It's like a little bit like damn, is this like necessary? Like, can you just calm down? But then he starts like preaching.
His rage on land, because you see it through the camera, isn't like actually like
rage,
cussing a storm and like calling us dog shit and everything. He gets pissed at the situation, and then he's like, do you guys want to go home? Like, being losers or whatever, right? He basically gives a motivational speech through his rage.
I think you are misunderstood in that aspect, dude. I don't think I think a lot of people deem you as like an angry guy, but I think okay, this is gonna be a hot take, but like I think Hal is just mean sometimes. I don't think you're mean ever. I just think low key you're just a motivational guy and like I think you're the definition of passion.
Yeah, he has his moments.
Did you hear about my flight to EWC?
No, go imagine that one.
Like raw dogging, how they sit there and they'll like stare at like
Don't tell me you did that.
I raw dogged the entire 20-hour flight.
Oh yeah, he did.
But just listen to the David Goggins audio book
the
entire way. 20 hours.
And that's what does it for you?
The first interview you saw was just me with headphones on, just like Lace tried to like.
That
was after that,
Because you're going psycho in 20
you
hours.
You gotta like get into like a mindset. I don't know,
Bro, that is crazy.
So Jen, what are your thoughts about?
Jen, what do you think about Dezignful's rage?
He's a dumb dog.
He's a dumb dog.
I think that's a good segue, bro. Like we're gonna have Papa Jam, we're gonna have your dad, your family always supporting, dude. I think right now this is probably like one of the, this is by far, regardless, we can wrap it up, but like this is by far, I think, the happiest that I've ever been when it comes to supporting an Apex roster, dude. I feel like obviously we've had currently other like teams for 100 Thieves. I love Scurry, Vax, and Onmu. I'm like best friends with them too, but I do think like since then, this is by far the happiest I've been. I'm like so happy to have you guys on board, man. And I think you guys are gonna do great things. And bro, we got champs, 3 months? Like, is it 3 months, 2 months? January 29th?
3 months is the end of January.
Yeah, a long time. A lot of time to practice, bro. What's the plan? Let's wrap it up. But what's the plan before champs kicks up? Anything different? Tomorrow, game might be changing. I saw some leaks that
Depends on the meta tomorrow.
I seen
Troubling.
that the Sentinel is being buffed.
Is that
sir.
shut your mouth?
Design
Really?
smiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, you'll
Oh.
have more shots while charged.
Oh,
Yeah.
you and Monsoon are hitting the gritty right now.
Yeah.
Are you
Wait,
kidding?
it's not more damage?
I don't know if it's more
shots.
damage.
When
but
you
it's
charge
more
it up, you'll
more
probably get like
yeah.
an extra 2 or 3
Oh,
bullets.
so more bang for your buck. Oh,
More
dude,
bang
that's
for our
fire.
buck. He's gonna bleed less of our meds.
Yeah. Wait,
Hell
2
yeah.
to 3 is a lot though.
That is
That's
a lot.
potential like 300 damage just right there.
Yeah.
Easily, even more.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
okay.
pumped
And when
up.
he's
I hit
when he's
300
dialed
damage
with the
shots.
Sentinel,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Timmy knows.
yeah.
Wait, what?
I said I hit 300 damage shots.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like hit it for 300.
Oh, yeah, literally,
I like-
one of the BLGSs, he's here 300. Timmy was
I
just
like
like,
headshot body
Yeah,
shot.
you
the last-
should be
Because
dead then.
we have an argument because I'm like I told him to play Zip and he just like didn't play Zip until
Yeah.
like a lot later, and then he's like I hit that guy for 300. I'm like
then how is he not
I'm like,
dead?
I'm like, I'm still breathing.
like that don't sound right.
He's still on his
But he
feet.
collided. He collided.
That's so funny.
But yeah, it's good. I think in general for our future, I mean, like I said, I think we were in a good spot when we had Jen.
Totally.
And kind of him not having his visa was unfortunate. But I do think once he gets here, he's on this. Like we were, by the way, like we were playing really well when he was on ping.
Yeah,
too.
at
Like, that's not-
200
Oh no, he was
something
one
ping.
magging. He was on pace.
There was a
everything.
guy teleporting and
Yeah,
he killed
doing
him.
that
He
forever.
showed us his POV, and there's people literally skipping on his screen, and he's still one mags.
What's the craziest part is though, he doesn't get mad, bro.
Yeah,
he
he's
kind
just-
of gets
he
mad.
kinda just
but, like,
laughs about it,
Yeah, he's like,
basically.
dude, that guy was just going.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
wagging.
Like I just think he will be a good addition to our team.
I think so too.
And like on top of that, like us, as a group, us three have been actually doing a really good job at communicating, having team talks,
Yeah.
having VOD reviews, and like we're actively trying to get better as a team. And like obviously there's always individual like stuff that we need to work on, like whether it's mechanics, whether
course.
it's like communication and like IGLing and stuff like that. And like I do think 3 months is a lot of time.
For sure.
Where at least we will be able to be in a rhythm where even if I didn't have to say a word or he didn't have to say a word, we just know what each other are going to do. And I
Yeah.
think that's like the biggest thing is just building that chem, building that synergy. And then on top of that, when people say certain things, it's like you immediately just know what they're going to do. And I'm excited for Japan. I mean, in general,
I'm pumped, dude.
I think like regardless of a competing aspect, I think Japan's like really cool.
That's gonna be so fun, man.
And I think like the biggest thing for me when I was going to EWC and Germany was like just the eating situation because I have a lot of allergies and just in
Yeah.
general like food. I have a lot of like food preferences. Like Japan will just be very healthy,
For you.
very clean and very easy. So I feel like I will be like in the right mindset and right like
I don't know if they have Chick-fil-A over there.
they don't
No,
they
they
don't.
don't.
But
That's this guy's
You been to
pregame.
Japan?
This is no,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
just
no,
his pre-tournament.
it's like the opposite.
Oh,
now,
that's
'cause
what-
he enjoys, Japanese food.
Yeah.
But like that's a different
on
territory
tournament
for-
days and stuff. He
We're
always has
designed to
Chick-fil-A.
explore.
Yeah.
no, but like dude, like, you can go to literally the Walgreens and legitimately they have like
The chicken.
full meals.
Full
They-
meals,
Yeah, and
yeah.
like it's like, dude,
Dude,
they
it's
just got it
insane.
figured out.
Have you ever been there?
Where?
Japan?
Japan.
No,
No? Oh, you're
Yeah,
gonna love
he's
it,
de-
dude. Oh, yeah, once,
He's
dude.
definitely
I'm
fiending at
excited.
like a family
Bro,
mart and just
yeah.
grabbing the fried chicken that's sitting in the.
might have to hit the fly out, fly back.
Is it
Then
about chicky?
Oh, yeah. Come
Is it
through,
about
bro. We're
chicken
going to be
chicken?
staying there for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah,
I know a lot of
100%.
people at EA are going to be there too, just hanging out. Because I think, like no leaks. I think what was going to happen is we're going to be at like a ski lodge. That's like the only hotels that really are available.
Oh yeah, because it snows up there pretty often.
Dude, it's
yeah.
like fucking, dude, it's like to like 30 degrees Fahrenheit, like below freezing majority of the time. I think when we're there is the coldest time of the year.
Jesus Christ.
And they're expecting the most snowfall when we're there as well. So bring the Tims and the bubble jackets, bro. We're gonna be
Shit,
posting up.
we're gonna be
dude.
bored.
Well, you're used to that shit with Chicago. Like,
Yeah, I'm
you're,
down.
you're chilling.
Down.
He was like asking me,
Yeah.
it's like, yo, you wanna go skiing for my birthday? I was like, yeah, maybe I don't want to get a hand injury or any injury.
What's your
before.
birthday?
No, no,
It's
his
my
Oh,
birthday.
your
It's
birthday?
the
What's
20 yeah, 24th.
Oh,
so
shit.
So yeah, we'll be there.
Okay, fuck
And then
yeah,
he was
man.
like, "Yeah, I'm not trying to get injured before the tournament." I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Trying to
you're
get
right.
this man
We'll
a
wait
concussion
after."
so he's seeing double as he's out yelling. I mean, like,
But
worst
like,
case
oh, me,
scenario.
like, wait, no,
That's-
not me. No, did you see a clip? It was one time, I forget when it was, but I was shooting somebody.
You
I
saw.
shooting, and then he grappled to me. I was like, oh me. I'm like, wait, that's you. It was on KC. It was on KC.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Des was just grappling back to him, and it looks like a Pathfinder was literally just flying at him.
That's hysterical. How you been liking Path?
I like it.
Yeah?
I played it like all the time. In like the OG Amos
Okay.
days, if you remember, like Gent was actually the Wraith,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was always like the Pathfinder and stuff. And like with the way I play with like off angles and stuff, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely like the Path. Definitely not I definitely don't like the hitbox as much. You
Bro,
know,
it is
it's just
devastating.
weird because it's like a unique hitbox that like only him and like Gibby have, where like certain head glitches just aren't head glitches. Like you're showing your whole body, and like it's just a little bit of like relearning certain spots during fights. But
I think that's all it is. I think it's just going to be like a relearning period. And
Well,
just a rust
it
thing,
does.
too.
It is a benefit. It's also like a disbenefit because when you're on regular boxes, you are out more.
Yeah.
And like
Even when you're crouching behind it and you think like it looks like your head's behind it, I've gotten like
You're still fucking
beamed
geared
off
up.
of it. Yeah, I've still gotten like fried while like trying to take a bat or something.
Especially now with like Nemesises and fucking
Yeah.
the fucking Hemlock meta and all that shit. What would you guys want, bro, going to the next meta? Like, what's an ideal meta for the 100 Thieves Apex team now moving forward?
rate.
Wraith.
Yeah, actually,
Right.
what'd you say?
Nah, the Horizon Cap Bang.
Horizon Cap
you
Bang
guys
would
would
go
go crazy. with
Horizon clap bang would go hard.
That
Yeah,
would
you
be like
guys.
perfect. Back to like me on like the Horizon, him on the
him on
Bang.
Bang.
Yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
Horizon was always good for Dez with like the Sentinel pick because
Totally.
just like the Peters and Sentinels, I think like I don't know, just like was always really good. And I think like even if a wingman comes back, like sheesh, he'll be dialed.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
if you get a wingman back, would you still run the Sentinel if you got a wingman? Probably not, right?
No.
Probably
Yeah,
closer
probably
ring
not.
closes. Like,
The only
if he
thing
finds
is like
one.
the only way to bring the wingman back is put it back to heavy ammo.
Yeah, it has to.
12 ammo in the mag, because like it's just such a weird spot. It's not like mid range, it's not long range. Like it's just a weird weapon.
They just nerfed it to the ground. And to be fair because that thing was
So
Jesus.
good for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like one of my least favorite parts to watch at Apex for a while. Was just that.
I was the worst gun to fight against. Too.
I also think, I'm gonna be honest. I think the least favorite by far has been Mozams. The double Mozams were the worst for me.
Ooh,
That was really boring.
I actually enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
I wish I learned it for the other land, like the Germany land, because
Okay.
I actually wasn't on it. I was on the Havoc still. Because,
Oh, really? The whole time?
because like being crypto and being the last one in, it felt like I never got the value
That's
out of
fair.
it because I was just like I'm just firsting somebody on a knockdown and using Mozams against a knockdown didn't feel like as right versus Havoc. But then I realized too late that I'm like, damn, this thing was broken.
The Horizon Q Spitfire was not fun.
Oh
That
my
meta.
gosh, that's the
Hell no.
prize special, bro. I'd watch a
That meta
prize
was
for
pretty
30
trash.
hours, just do Qs.
might be
and
back.
yeah, it might be, right?
Oh yeah, Spitfire getting a buff
Yeah.
potentially.
Dude, there's some crazy. You see the lifeline leak? Dude, it's awful. It's like apparently
The
she's
glide?
going to be able to glide with her drone. Who the fuck needs that on lifeline?
Glide?
What lifeline? Yeah, you're going to be like, if you jump off stuff, you can like hold the drone up and you're like gliding instead of strong
Hell
falling
yeah,
down.
let's glide.
Dude, you're gonna get
In a game
fucking
that's no
rocked.
fall damage.
Imagine this guy with a sentinel and he just sees a lifeline falling out of the air in slow motion. Get a hitter for 300.
I mean, it sounds sick.
I mean-
it gives.
Maybe late game and like jumping around 6 and you're just floating in the air off of the
Honestly,
back.
they should just make it where you can just hop.
I think
on
they
your
made it
crypto.
so like the tactical is like kind of like a Gibby shield now though.
Oh, is it? That's
Or
pretty cool.
something like
man.
that.
Oh, that'd be
I don't
fire.
know. There's a bunch of leaks going on with her.
Yeah, we'll
I
see
don't know,
tomorrow.
Let me just hop on my crypto drone and
Yeah,
fly
we'll-
away.
It's
Yeah,
like
we'll
a
see
Gibby
tomorrow.
shield without the top.
Like if
Apparently they're dropping the trailer, patch notes, and the new season tomorrow,
tomorrow, yeah.
which is
If-
crazy.
Wow,
In 3 hours.
depending on like the changes, because I don't think crypto is gonna get changed because no one's really playing him
No.
after all the Newcastle and stuff happening.
Apex
But
North is.
yeah,
watched
if
them last
they
night.
if they nerf Newcastle a little, then I think
I
crypto
don't
might
want
be
him to.
back.
I love Newcastle, bro. He's
You
been
like
one of
Newcastle?
bro, he's been one of my favorite aspects to
So
watch in this
annoying.
season.
I don't-
He's
I
probably
hate
the
Newcastle.
most annoying to watch, like probably fight against, but to watch the plays, man.
To
are so
watch,
fun.
I would say it's entertaining. Like
It's
seeing
fun.
Newcastle's just walling other Newcastle walls
Yeah.
or getting these off angles and everything. But I do think it's just a character that just provides too much forgiveness.
I think
in,
so,
in a
too.
competitive setting.
Yeah, I mean the Mad Maggie though has been punishing it. It's been good to watch.
Yeah,
Finally,
yeah.
something that's kind of sticking it to Newcastle a little bit. It's
Yeah.
been slightly enjoyable. Like the double Qs, like Privacy was onto some shit. For
I think the
sure.
100%.
Horizon Cat Bang meta was always like a even though the quadruple walls end game was like what am I looking at?
Yeah,
I think it was always nice because it felt like when you kill a team, it's like you're actually the most.
It's a
most
skill
skillful.
fight.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
a skilled fight.
yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like when you get knocked, you either have to insta res with the cat wall or like you pay the 2v3.
Yeah. All right, well, fuck it, dude. I think it's a good place to wrap up, man. Is that good for you, Molly? Chilling? All right, well, there we go, guys. The new 100 of these Apex team in the mix, officially here. Right, Jen? Locked in.
You know what
All
I
right.
realized actually?
What's up?
We all played with Timmy. We're all teammates, ex-teammates. With Timmy.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Golden
that
Guardians,
boy
the
getting
Chiefs.
passed around.
Like We're X's. Oh, you
True.
might be next. You already had
I
your
was already
period.
an X. He came back, baby. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, technically, you guys are all my ex teammates.
Yeah, Timmy responded to that. You up text. He was about that sneaky link, baby.
Jesus.
But seriously, appreciate you, Nate Shot. Thanks for taking some money out of your very expensive salary to get this Apex team going. We appreciate it, man. Love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.